Okay, so I'm wanting to look at how I can do maps. You have several options. You don't have to use the Google map, but just to show you how you can do Google Maps, I'm going to go to maps.google.com. As with all Google products, I recommend that you first go to your Gmail or your Fresno State email to log in, just so that when you go to the maps, you'll notice that I'm already logged in. You see my logo over here, because I was already logged into my Gmail. So things about with the maps, I think we've all used Google Maps before. So say I want to look at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, and I can get a view of what's going on down here. I can drag it around just by grabbing the screen. I can switch it. If you'll notice when I go on here, I can look at some different options, like I can see the weather and different webcams that are going on there, traffic if I want to. People have posted photos. If you want to see pictures, people's photos, you can do that. I usually choose not to. But what I want to do is I want to go ahead and click on My Places. You'll see right here next to Get Directions, it says My Places. And it's going to give me the option to create a map. So I'm going to click on this Create Map button. So for wherever your trip is, you're going to have some sort of a map of your trip. So I'm going to say Pearl Harbor trip. This map is for my CI100 trip. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And I notice this does have some nice features on here, like collaborate. So if you want to add people to help collaborate and work on the map with you, you can add in their email address, you can give them a note. Over here, you can give people permissions to collaborate with other people. And then if you want to make it so that anyone can edit the map, if you're doing this with students, that's probably a good idea. Just so that when you share the map with them and you're saying, hey, I want you to find so many locations, that they would be able to just go ahead and edit it without any hassle. So anyway, so I've got my map and it's saved on there. You'll notice you now have a link to the map, but you're not going to necessarily need that because with a Google site I can embed it directly. You've got on here, I'm on the hand, and that allows me to pan around and move. I can click on this little balloon thing and I can actually place a marker anywhere. So once I drop that, you'll notice that I can now describe it. So I don't even know what I found, but it's like, here is where something happened. And then I can give a description. So I can actually, if you're thinking about this for students, you can create a map for them, and then they explore the map by clicking on your little flags that you drop. So you actually give a full explanation. Give some historical context. What do you want students to know about this spot? I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And so this goes two ways, is that you can have students explore your map, or when you're asking students to create a map, you're asking them to place their own pin droppers and have them do the description so that you would then explore what they've created. So it's a great way to have students create stuff. I'm going to go ahead and drop another one. I'm just going to click on wherever it is that I want to put it. And then if I click on the flag, I'm actually able to change the icon. So, I don't know, I guess if I want to say this is volcano here. And I can then give information about the volcano or wherever it is. This is a hot spot. I would recommend traveling here. But I can actually switch here. By default, it's on plain text, which just means I just type in there. But I can actually go to rich text. So if I switch to rich text, I now have a toolbar where I can make my text bold. I can make it colored with the highlighter. I can change the font color. I can change the font size. So I can make it a little bit more dynamic for students. I can put in bullets. Think of 3 things that you could do at a volcano. I obviously don't have a real volcano on my map, but I can also, if you look at this icon right here, I can actually insert an image. The hiccup here is you have to insert it by URL. So the way that I get around that is I'll actually insert the image on my Google site, and then virtual trip, and then I'm going to create a new page, I'm going to call it map, and I'm going to put it under the virtual trip. I've already done that. So I'm going to go to map. And in here I have a sample page. I'll make map 2. I'll put it under map. Okay, so once I'm in here, I can just go insert image, and I can just choose some files. So I'll just pick some random things off of my desktop. Here's a picture that I have. Just insert it in there, and I will hit save. So if I just put pictures anywhere on my website, I can right click on the image, and I can copy the image URL. So you got to kind of come down a little bit. You want to copy the either image URL, image address, it might say that too, or image location, but we want to copy the image URL. I'm using Google Chrome, so that's the vocabulary that it uses. So I right click, I copy the image URL, and I go back to my map. And so when I insert, I click on this picture icon here. When I insert that, Command V paste, then it actually puts the picture right in my map. So that way when students I'm going to hit done. So when they click on the marker, they're going to see my rich text, they're going to see my bullet points, and any of the images that I put in there. So that's actually pretty cool. That really gives you a way to put some historical context on things. If you wanted them to look at a map of Gettysburg and you wanted to put in some battle photos, different things like that, then you could really make the picture in a historical context with pictures of Civil War soldiers and different equipment that they used, and links to websites that they want to know about that particular spot and things. So this can really make it dynamic for students. So I'm going to go ahead and click here on edit. I'm going to put in some more stuff. So I'm going to drop another one. It does default to the last icon, so I'm going to click on the little icon there to change it. Change this one to a yellow. And I'm going to want to maybe put a video in on my map. So I'm going to go ahead and go to YouTube. And I'm going to find a video on Pearl Harbor. I'll just pick this first one. Pause. You'll notice on the share button down here below the video, it gives me a link to share, but it also has an embed code. So I'm going to grab that embed code. Command-C, copy. I'm going to go back to my map. Now instead of rich text, I'm going to click here on Edit HTML, because Edit HTML lets me put in, well, HTML code, but more specifically, embed code. So if you use a Prezi, or if you use Voki, or some other website like YouTube that gives you an embed code that you can stick in there, I can click OK. Let me hit done so I can test it. If I click right on the flag, you'll notice that I now have a YouTube video embedded right into my map. So that's a great way to share information about the different places, especially if you're giving like a tour. You could use a webcam, create a webcam video, and just describe what they're going to do and what they're going to see at that spot. So those are great things to do. Once you are done with your map, you'll be able to put it into your site pretty easily. But let me show you one more thing. I'm going to click Edit. And I've got here, do you see this line where I can draw a line, I can draw a shape, I can draw a line along roads. So when I'm drawing lines, I can connect my, oops, zoom back in here. I'm real good at this. I can, come here, start drawing the line. I can draw a line, click to start drawing, I click once, there we go. So don't drag, you just click once to draw the line. Zooming back out so I can see my other markers. So I can go between, I can actually now map out my trip if I were to somehow want to go in a little circle around town. Double click to end. I can actually then put that same things on the line, so I can put YouTube videos under Edit HTML. I can have rich text or just plain text where I'm describing the path that I drew. So those are all things that are possible. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to hit done. And then when I go back to my site and I'm on the map page under virtual trip, I'm going to click edit page. And then on that page, I'm going to insert map. And then if I go here onto my maps, not just maps, but my maps, I've got my Pearl Harbor trip that I just made. So I say okay, hit save, and embeds my map right on the page. I'd already made one before, so you can see now my map is embedded. When I click on the pins, it's got my text and videos and everything in there that I can see what's going on in your trip. So I'm just gonna do that to turn in to show me what kind of map you made. If you choose not to do a Google map, that's fine. You can do another kind of map. You can annotate on top of it, but your map should show your trip and some information.